guys. It's been such a long season. I feel like it's all coming to an end. We've still got playoffs to get to, but it's the last game of the regular season. I don't want it to end. I want more DoorDash LCO action. But at least we got one more game, you know. Legacy up against Mammoth. It's going to be a damn good time. Would you give me an Emmy for that one, Rusty? You're looking pretty stunned.
It was solid. I never know what to expect from you when we come back from a break. That one was maybe the least expected, given that we're still playing today's games. But I respect it. It was well done.
Yeah, and we still got playoffs to get to as well. Anyway, let's talk Mammoth first. Finally getting another W on the board yesterday and doing a good job as a team. Sharing the love as well. Zyster having a good time in mid with them. And Skimmy, they're looking pretty damn good right now. All things considered, yeah, they're going to be getting the wooden spoon. That can be, you know, dealt with later.
Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic to see, right? Them, much like a lot of these teams, actually show that growth. It's one thing to say it, but actually put it into practice is something completely different. They've obviously made a roster shuffle in the mid lane. Zyster's finding himself some valuable stage experience too, but the rest of the team, you know, they're able to come ahead and sort of make statements for themselves individually. We've seen Nectar have his moments to pop off. Gudo, certainly a player that's impressed multiple times, and Frost hasn't been too afraid to take on the big dogs, right? Solo kills against some of the very best in the league. So I think this is a team that, whether or not they stay together, can definitely be very proud about their debut into competitive League of Legends.
Yeah, it's one of those teams as well, like Frost's coming out. He impressed us super early on in the split and has had a pretty damn good one himself. So, you know, maybe on the up and up next year, we'll see him either join other teams or Mammoth just will improve as a team. However, still has one more game to play here, and the team against them will be Legacy. Now, probably one of the more entertaining teams to watch sometimes here in the DoorDash LCO. You love Int Curzio, you love Fake Curzio. Oh, we got Why Not back in the jungle as well. So throwing him back in for the final game here for Legacy, as now there is no chance for them to make it. So it looks like they're just going to be sharing the love, Rusty.
Yeah, I was considering bringing you on for a cast for this one, Mac, given that you're currently his biggest advocate. But Why Not is going to be back into the mix this time around. Last time we saw him, I believe he was 5-1 on Diana against a good team, and then unfortunately threw that all away. But still had a pretty good performance for himself. And what I will say, Mac, is this game is, as far as standings implications are concerned, close to 0. At best, Legacy could have have outright 6th, right, against Gravitas by winning here. And if there was any team that I would want to be in that game, you know, the game that means nothing, it would be Legacy, because they are just so fun to watch play League of Legends.
Oh, this is the game where you need to let Cat go through, letting Curzio just have his way with mid lane. Finally, we get to see it. Maybe, I think, is it the second time this split, if it happens? There was the one time where it got shut down completely. I think that was up against PGG, right?
Yeah, that was against PGG. Was that this split or last split?
That was this split where he got shut down because they just picked a huge amount of counter engage. Pretty much every champ was there, was like a anti-Cat tool.
Yeah. Last split, they didn't shut it down. He almost ran away with it. Yeah, I'm with you now. Yeah, absolutely. I think this is a Cat angle. I'd be sad if it wasn't. But hey, Int Curzio could still come out on any champion.
Very true, very true. And he has played a whole lot of champs this split, so it's good to see that he has definitely improved as a mid laner as a whole in terms of his experience. And someone else that's very experienced is Nat, so let's bring that back into the conversation because she's pretty good at interviews. And I heard that you got 2 players down on the sidelines for us.
Firstly, thank you. And secondly, yeah, I do have 2 players. I have Why Not and Nectar joining me. Thank you so much. I gotta say, looking absolutely spectacular tonight. Why Not? How you feeling coming into this game?
Hey Nat, I'm feeling pretty good. It's nice to come back on the broadcast and see you in the interview. And Nectar is also looking rather nice tonight too.
That's right. I was going to get that, but you took the words right out of my mouth. You're both looking absolutely dashing right now, but I can't ignore those kitty cat ears over there. Is that a little bit of a tribute to potentially Incurzio and his beloved Cat?
Potentially we might see kitty cat Katarina come out if Mammoth isn't too afraid and decide to ban it out first phase. But we'll have to leave it up to them if they're cowardly or if they're willing to face the thunder.
Oh, that's some big calls. I think Mammoth might have a little bit to potentially say about that one. But Nectar, how are you guys feeling down there at the Mammoth camp?
I say we're pretty confident from yesterday's game. You know, can't wait to defeat Legacy. It's gonna be a feel-good moment.
Yeah, you guys did get that win yesterday over Gravitas, obviously helping Peace out there a little bit. I guess I want to know, what was a big key to that success, and do you think it'll be showing up tonight?
Our lanes were, I think all of our lanes were very stable yesterday. I don't think, there was no one really got solo killed or anything. So I think we're gonna aim for that again today. Keep the lanes as stable as we can, and use our mid-game macro to the best we can.
I'll look forward to potentially seeing it. Now, we briefly touched on maybe letting that cat pick through. I don't want to leak too many strategies, but will we be seeing some quote-unquote non-meta picks coming out from Mammoth?
I guess it depends on the draft, right? So I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Well, that definitely is making it a little bit spicy. Why not? I want to ask you, what are you hoping to achieve tonight? This is only a second game in Split 2, so what are you trying to prove?
I mean, I definitely think while this game has no major implications on standings, it's definitely a kind of a no-holds-barred kind of situation, So I guess it's time to go all out in a game where, while the pressure isn't there for standings, I feel like the pressure to make the most of this opportunity is there. So I'm very much looking forward to getting on the Rift, showing that scrims have been going great. Can't wait for the last game of the split. So yeah, just kind of ready to nail some mammoths and bring them back to the Ice Ages, eh?
That makes me so excited. I'm definitely looking forward to it. I do want to quickly, though, ask you guys, as this will be the last time we see both teams for 2021, do you have any messages, I guess, that you want to say to the fans, for yourself or for the team, if you want to start, Nectar?
Well, I guess it does feel pretty good to get memed, respect the neck. I always get really happy watching the replays and seeing in the Twitch chat, so yeah.
I love it. That's your cue, Twitch chat. Do what you do best and maybe spam a little bit of respect the neck. But why not? What about you? Anything you want to say out there to the Legacy fans?
Yeah, I mean, I've been kind of riding the bench most of the time and being the team's #1 supporter, being there during scrims, watching them in their hard defeats and watching them in their most surprising victories. So I've definitely been in the spectators and in the supporters' shoes, and I've seen it's just been overwhelming, the amount of positivity from the Legacy esports community. So I definitely have to thank everyone out there who spends their hard-earned points to predict our wins. And to potentially lose them on our downfalls. But I think tonight's a good investment. From a personal note, I really do appreciate all the love I get when I have played in the very few instances I have, and all the copy passes that are constantly spammed when mishaps do occur in the games I'm not playing in. So thank you to all the fans and all the supporters.
Oh, well, thank you both so much for joining me. Good luck tonight, and I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There you have it. That guy on the left, that Why Not? I heard he's done a really good rendition of Let It Go from Frozen. You guys should ask him about that. I think I've got a clip somewhere. I might not leak it because he might hate me forever. But it's good. It's gold. And I hope that he can give us a second rendition. Anyway, we do have to have a quick look at the predictions before we jump into the final game of the evening. And Rusty's gone with me. He's gone with Twitch chat too. So, looks like we are going to be relying on you guys at home to see if we go for Legacy or Mammoth. Rusty, why? Why have you changed it up here?
I mean, I said it at the start of the day, Mac. I predicted the three-way tie, and this was not a part of the three-way tie. So I decided to go all out, and I went with you, which means I'm going with chat, which is usually the biggest mistake one can make. But I have faith that they'll pick the winners this singular time. They can't let me down more than once. I won't let them do it, but they'll get it this time.
You've left it up to them to see if you can get back ahead of your boy Skimmy. And looks like everyone else has gone for Legacy here, so no one believing in the Mammoth 3 dubs. Okay. Interesting. I wonder if Twitch chat is going to maybe think about it. So I guess we'll see. Anyway, Rusty,
hey.
If you had to pick the most handsome person on the desk here, who would it be?
It has to be you, Mac.
Oh, thank you very much. Well, let's see what Styled and Sybil say about this one.
If you woke up one morning as a league champion, who would you want it to be?
Anything but Lee Sin, because I don't want to be blind. I would say
That's not bad.
probably Set. Set's pretty cool.
I like
Set's
that,
good,
yeah.
Set's good.
Ripped, but with eyes
Yes.
instead of blind. I like. That's a good idea.
Who's someone in the league that you generally disliked at first, but now you like?
Is it Halo? I got a photo with him like 5 minutes ago.
I took it as well.
Yeah, it's like probably Halo then, because he's not enjoyable to play with in solo queue, but turns out he's like, I don't know.
He's a nice guy.
Nice IRL. So
Yeah, he's a really nice IRL.
yeah. Would you rather fight one Baron-sized Teemo or 20 Teemo-sized Barons? I mean, you can't really be wrong.
For the first one?
A Baron-sized Teemo?
It's like playing that game.
Yeah,
What was it called? It's like the Doom bots.
Oh yeah, the Doom boss.
Like the huge teamer. Pretty
Yeah.
much the same.
I guess. I mean, I'm just wondering, like, because Teemo's like fluffy and a Baron's like snappy, and you know wants to fight you. So I'm thinking maybe you're probably right.
Yeah. I
Not
think
that
so.
there's a right or wrong, but
There's definitely not around. So that's
a
never happening
Baron-sized
ever.
Teemo is really big. He might just squash you. I'm proud of your bravery for picking one because I can't decide.
If you could remove one champion from the game, who is it and why?
Yeah, I asked this earlier, and I think I said Janna because Janna is just like I was like, if you install League and then pick Janna and then load into game and then play the game as Janna, I think you're an absolute menace of a human. You probably shouldn't play that champion. There's just no way that champ should be allowed.
What was your first impression of me?
Yeah, I think it was Carbon saying, yeah, we're getting styled and
No.
Amelg, and I was like, okay, I've heard of Amelg. I've like seen him in solo queue. I think he's actually pretty good, but I can't say I've seen the styled guy much at all. Like his name's like kind of familiar, and I didn't really know I don't see you in solo queue much, so I didn't really have any impressions, and I didn't even see you playing like the OCS, so I kind of had zero. I was blank.
At best, well, you didn't play OPL last split, right? Like split 1 2020.
Yeah, no, I was in UK. Yeah.
So I played around then. That's probably
Oh,
why.
true. That would make sense.
What is this? Oh god. You played an entire split in the UK LC last year. I thought players were meant to be good when they returned from EU.
Okay. Yeah, true. And it is true because I'm good.
I like that.
How do we stop Incurzio from getting the most deaths in the split again?
You can't control that.
Yeah, I say let him go. I mean, I'm okay with him getting
I
12
think
deaths.
he's best off unleashed, sure.
Exactly.
If you leash him, he's probably worse.
Exactly.
Well, Rusty, he's so good that he's actually been subbed out here today for Why Not instead, who's actually hunting for his first win of 2021. So is there a potential good luck charm here to say, Mammoth have had their win of the week, can Legacy get theirs now?
I would really like to kick off this draft with a Kiana lock-in, because Why Not will play at mid. And let's just throw a spatter in the works right out of the gates. Will we have the Katarina, but in Curzio, can he play mid when Why Not's got Kiana? Is Kiana jungling Skibby? Who knows?
I
We
mean,
know that
we've
Why Not
seen-
plays it.
We see situations like this happen in the past with a slightly different variation, right? We had Sybil playing top lane
Oh,
as
they're
a
all
Jace,
picking their
the
one
old
tricks.
Scheibel.
Okay.
There's the Bards, back to business for Emil. We haven't seen this in a hot minute, and there was a part of me that was wondering, would we see something crazy from Emil? Maybe like a Yumi, a Morgana, a Lux, but he's gone for the Bards, so already a little bit of excitement in the first few picks.
I'm wondering, so the only thing that I'm unsure of here is Styled and what he'll pick. Because I can tell you with certainty that Legacy are just picking their one tricks right now. And Mammoth are picking a draft. So there's a difference right now between both of these teams and how they're approaching the draft. Not that I think Kiana's bad, not that I think Bard is bad. But we'll see if Mammoth continue down the path of normality. It does seem like a resounding yes.
It feels fresh. I mean, doesn't really leave much left to be desired. You know what it's about. Very strong, very good. Please give us the Samira. There it is. It's locked in. The OG pentakill farming machine. It's been a long time since we last saw this. And whilst it has been played in a handful elsewhere, as well as in solo queue, it's good to see it back in competitive.
Yeah, we haven't really seen much Samira at all lately. Dropped off the face of the earth, to say the least.
Yeah.
But, I mean, why not? Not why not. Styled is going to be picking the champion. So, I mean, I respect it. I think if you have the confidence to play Samira, get the team fights, get through the parts where you really aren't that good, have yourself a grand old time in team fights. Just don't get entered by your own Bard or Kiana as you try and ult. which is entirely possible. Speaking of trolling, Why Not is staring down a Nunu angle with his current summoners.
Yeah, right, Ghost and Cleanse. Be interesting to see. Oh, safety first, as he's now strapped up, ready for the game. Katarina has been banned away, so the party has been ruined. It's not happening. It's not going to be an Incursio angle to close out the season. And
They had 3 chances to pick it.
oh, no.
Can't really fault Mammoth for that one. It is Legacy's fault for not picking it in their first 3. By the way, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? What will Incursio play? Is it the Kiana somehow? When Why Not is the Kiana player?
Wouldn't surprise me. I mean, I think of Incursio as the assassin player. So
Yeah, you could play whatever he wants, honestly. I mean, Winterer, if we want to speak about what he'll pick, could be a top Azir angle.
oh, bring us back to the OG days, right? When he sort of announced himself to this league and was playing very weird and wild, wacky different picks, wasn't he? So it'll be exciting.
Okay. Much better. Nah. Nah.
Kane locked in. I don't know if it really still confirms what we're going to see, because you'd imagine it's jungle, but with this lineup, certainly could be flexed elsewhere.
Yeah. Okay, so we know where Samira and Bard are going. Kane is presumably jungle and Kiana is presumably mid, but that is all temporary until we see their final pick. Legacy have that luxury being on red side. Mammoth, if we're going to pan back to normal, have got 4 good champions so far, waiting for their 5th. I believe Zyster is looking like he is going to be the Silas. Shinky seems to be trolling Nectar.
Yeah. Which pick do you want, bro? You got 2 seconds left. You're on Malphite duties. You're not going to be doing much more than hitting the big wombo combo and getting us online. I guess Leicester will now have to pick a litter as to which ultimate he wants to choose. What is it going to be? Pay your respects for Sybil. There's the Elise Hover. But how will Legacy close out their year and close out this draft?
I don't even know what role's left, so it's hard to actually pick. We'll just have to wait and see what champion they choose to lock in.
Can we get a laning Lilia? I would love to see a top lane Lilia. That would be the dream for me.
It could be top Lilia. It's into a Malphite. Lilia's changes as well, by the way. Conqueror Lilia is nasty.
It's good.
And I think actually kind of smashes Malphite. But I think this does mean, unless they swap, we're looking at a mid Kane. I really don't know with Incursio, you know?
I mean, it's possible. I saw him play Kane the other day on stream, and you know, that's all you need for a little bit of research as to what this could achieve. So leave that one in isolation. I'm excited about this top Lilia more than anything right now. I've seen, if you date your mind back a few years ago, TN from the Chiefs, who actually played it. He's been playing it recently too, over in America. So could be exciting to see that reworked passive, how it actually does fare in keeping Winterer topped up and healthy.
Yeah, I think like there's an insane amount of sustain in it. There's a lot of mobility. One thing that Malphite can do just quietly is, you know, leech some of that mobility away with his Q. The faster you are, the more he's going to steal with that movement speed. Debuff. But I don't see many worlds where Lilia loses that lane except for Malphite having level 6 and maybe having a jungler nearby. So I'm definitely going to keep a keen eye on that 1v1. I'm super curious to see how that pans out. Skimmy. It's the rest of the map that I think we have significantly more questions for with their overall draft, because mid-jungle is certainly a bit of a specimen situation right now, isn't it?
I mean,
step into the lab to see what we've got.
Yes, you lock yourself in a Kiana Ken, you go, okay, boys, I'm picking up what you're putting down, damage, but will it come online? Because I think, if anything, you've probably all experienced this. If Assassins get behind, yeah, a bit of a wet noodle. So Mammoth have come at them full guns blazing, looking to make the perfect 2-0 week for them. Bit of a interesting line that we've yet to really say about them, but it could be the week for them. It could be the perfect ending to 2021. For Legacy though, can they end their season with a bang? Certainly with a bit of comfort.
It has to be Kane mid, right? Like it's I didn't see them switch to Smite for Kane. So I'm just assuming at this point that it is going to be Kane mid, Kiana jungle. I have actual sample size of why not playing Kiana jungle, which is the only reason that I'm stuck on that one.
Yeah.
And just to, quickly hit on compositions here, Skibby, one of them, really nice front to back. They've got a lot of good damage, mixed damage as well through their top side, so it's hard to just build resistances into. The other side is Mammoth. No, the other side's Legacy. Legacy, I'm not even sure how to tell you how they're going to navigate team fighting. I feel like they are just playing League of Legends. And that's my takeaway.
That's a thing. That's really leaving the floor for discussion. We do have confirmation from the producers that it is a Kiana with Smite. So what you see is what you will be getting. So I guess the term of it being a bit of a specimen runs true. But those are the compositions. This is the final game of the inaugural season here for the LCO. As we get ourselves ready and rocking for those playoffs with the best of 5 to decide which team from OS will represent us over at Worlds. Been a long year, Rusty, but it does feel a little bit sad to see it end.
It's been a longer split as well, actually, Skimmy. The first one was only like 6 weeks before playoffs. This time around, we've had 9 full weeks before we got into the playoffs run itself. But before we get too far into playoffs and discussions on who will win those best of 5s, we still have to get through this game. And still waiting to see beyond the draft exactly what we're going to get from the players, right? Why Not is always going to have his poker face on in those interviews. You're never actually sure at what point he isn't memeing. That's at least my experience with Why Not. Anytime he speaks, you just have to assume it's a meme until otherwise proven. So, said he was going to be pretty serious. It's a point to prove himself. Does pick his signature champion, but we don't know what play style we're going to get when your mid lane is going Kayn mid. And your top laner is a Lilia. So I think we'll have to watch it happen on the Rift to actually have a better judgment on what we're about to deal with, and if it's a fun game or a game played to win.
Well, let's talk to Ceres as we wait for ourselves to get loaded into the Rift here for that final game. And it does look like a bit of a fun game here, Ceres, but I mean, for the team as a whole, we've seen growth across the ladder from all teams, but having just barely missed out on playoffs, would you still chalk up the season as a success?
Yeah, I think it was successful for us. The fact that we can even contend for playoffs is already something that was probably unexpected at the start of the year, especially when you're looking at the rosters of the top 5. Those teams are really designed and created to both hit playoffs and perform in it. Whereas, we were definitely kind of thrown together at the last second. Including myself, who I was born in quite late, and the progress that we showed has been tremendous, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you've taken some big results right off some strong opposition, caused some upsets where maybe people would have discounted you otherwise. Has there been a key moment, like we've been asking all coaches tonight, that you look back on and say, that's where things, got better from? Was it a coaching angle, a player perspective, just a defining moment in the game or out that you look back on fondly?
Well, I think that there's a clear metric that we looked at, which was our first 3-0 week of the second split, where we thought to ourselves, okay, well, now we're picking up some momentum, and a lot of the things that we're talking about in scrims is actually coming to fruition on the screen and on stage. Unfortunately, we couldn't really maintain the form, but at that point, I think I was really hopeful, and so was the team, that we were actually able to not only just make playoffs, but perhaps even contend. Following like beating Direwolves in order. So I think really it's just the results of that week especially will probably be that moment for me.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen that you guys are a pretty jovial side. I mean, you've certainly got a key identity of like, we want to be aggressive, and obviously garnered a lot of fans as a result of that, sort of knowing what to expect when a legacy matchup is to take place. Were you quite happy sort of with the work that was made, the sort of clear identity, be it through patches and metas, that what you played is what you wanted?
Yeah, 100%. I think that sticking to our guns, like not necessarily deviating from the way in which we wanted to play throughout the split. It had its positives and it had its negatives. Obviously, we had extremely volatile games. We're probably we're definitely actually on the flip end of both winning and losing the fastest games in the LCO, no? So, and both against Peace as well. So I think that speaks to itself already. And I think that is a result of that identity.
I mean, it's interesting for me to say, because we sort of started off the season having discussions about, look, we put together players that are looking to try and translate solo queue experiences into a pro environment. We had Winter playing the likes of Azir and so on top side. It seems almost poetic that we've had a full year go by, cycle back to this very moment, and now he's playing the likes of, say, Lilia top.
Yeah, it definitely is, and you're right. We did have, you know, for example, Winter is obviously a role swap from mid to top, and he was sort of implementing the mid champions into the top pool from the start of Split 1 because, you know, we didn't really have time since Split 1 was really rushed. Obviously across Split 2, he did a much better job of integrating a traditional champion pool, and I'm sure he looked great in many games to the public, and I think he did perform great. But yeah, in Kersey, for example, had never played competitive before. Like both Styled and Amelk had very, very minimal experience in terms of professional stage, but had played kind of at the challenger scene for a while. For the most part, we had a very, very fresh team coming into competitive, and a lot of things had to be built from the ground up. It is fitting, I think. Lilia top is a little bit less extreme than Azir, I think. It's being played globally
Sure.
as a response into, you know, certain melee matchups. So, but for the most part, I think your point stands.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not as abstract. That's going to cause, you know, the internet to break, at least for OS League of Legends. Finally, mate, before I let you guys go, I mean, is there anything you want to say to the fans at home that have been supporting you on? So I suppose, yeah, the floor is yours to close out 2021.
No, thank you so much to everybody who's supported Legacy, not just Legacy, but also the entirety of the LCO. Seeing this growth and coming from kind of being really despondent as a region following the you know, the dissolution of the OPL has been really, really heartwarming to see. You know, I'm really happy just with tonight's viewership, for example. It seems like it's been doubled over the course of the split, and yeah, just seeing so much support and so many fans just openly come out and you tweeting about us and tweeting about the league is really awesome to see. So I'm really happy for it and can't thank everyone enough.
It's wholesome, and I mean, it's fantastic, right? Because given how close things are, then I'm sure a lot of people now are thinking, bring on Split 1 of 2022. But Ceres, until then, mate, it's been a pleasure working alongside you, and I wish you boys all the best of luck in tonight's game.
Till then, Skinny, take it easy.
Well, Zach, yeah, plenty to break down. It was always nice, I suppose, when we get to have a little bit more of a extended conversation, a little bit more candid at the same regard.
Yeah, Siri is also a very well-spoken person. You know, he's been around the Oceanic scene for a while, and you know, is a part of, you know, that group of us that share the sentiment of, you know, what from the ashes of another organization or whatever it may be, the LCO comes out, and we're all very happy with the direction it's gone, and feel very warm, you know, knowing that the fans, you know, new and old, have stuck around with us. So it's nice to hear that from someone else's opinion for once. Not just me spouting nonsense to myself constantly.
It's not an echo chamber. There are other people in the scene involved that are thinking the same way as us. Quick update for you guys. We're just waiting for the game to load. One player still looking to try and connect, and once that's up and available, then the camera will shift off our faces into the game for the action to close out this year. And I suppose we'll be able to jump in and sort of refresh you with sort of what those drafts look like when that does appear. But for the meantime, let's cycle through the players. And I suppose highlight some key moments, right? You know, we talk about sort of how Legacy did so well. Mammoth, another team that once again sort of drew a short straw, you'd say, in sort of the end result for how their season's finished, but they've had a lot of proud moments for them to reflect on.
Yeah, I mean, Mammoth are a team that, to be frank, a lot of us didn't have the highest expectations for, but they've managed to impress at times where we thought maybe it wasn't possible, right? And they do seem to have some solid personalities in that roster as well. You've got old mate Respect the Neck, who has his farms, you know, goes out onto the farms, pats the cows before the game for good luck, as you do.
As you do!
So again, like there's a lot to like about them, and even if they're not getting the dubs, they're not getting the performances, they still put everything into it, and you have seen improvements, and there's still takeaways from them. And you know, the funny thing is, at moments like this, when you play your last couple of weeks of LCO, you are basically stating your case for the future, right? You're saying that, like, this is how good I am, and other teams should look at me coming into the next season because we're valuable. Some of us for wearing cat ears, some of us for wearing sunglasses while wearing glasses at the same time. Some of us for winning on the Rift as well.
He's also wearing robes. You know, he's getting comfortable. Perhaps he's gone back to Super Weeks where Fridays it was dressed to impress, and feeling comfortable working from home in your PJs. Nonetheless, it's been a long season. It's had its ups and downs. But regardless, these guys are ready to bring us to a conclusion here, as we're still just waiting for that player to connect. So, as much as we love to talk, it's always the action, you know? Casters, please start the game. That's what you want to spam. I'm sure you already are in chat right now.
Hey, we can honestly not to go CSI Miami on this, but we can tell from Amel's glasses where we are with the pause. So I think we'll be getting into the game
Zoom,
soon.
amplify,
Yeah.
and load in. Here we go. The final game of the LCO regular season. And it'll be Mammoth and Legacy doing battle one last time. It's been an interesting matchup between these two. Has resulted in Legacy claiming the 2-0. This will be the third and final game with what will quickly refresh you guys at home with as very standard front to back from Mammoth, you said, Rusty, but from Legacy, anything but.
It's just League of Legends from Legacy. We're going to have to watch how they play it and learn with you guys as they go. A couple of things worth noting is that Why Not loves the Kiana, for anyone who missed that. And that Amelg is, or was, a Bard one trick. So he's got his old main champion there as well. So there's a couple of things to be excited about. A lot of, through their composition as well, a decent amount of pop-off potential as they are just trading emotes with each other. So we'll see if they can actually, you know, have the Bard into Kiana, into, you know, you've got the Lilia and Senator, follow that one up as well. The one, do you call it a wild card? The one spanner in the works is just that there is a Kayn mid. It just exists.
Hence why it's just League of Legends. Ooh. Now, perhaps this is a case of talking about Skinergy. I mean, that's the brand new fresh. He's got a face. He's not covering it up. He's loud and proud and looking on point.
What's the name of that new one? The Ruin Fresh? Unbound?
I would have no idea. But I can find out for you.
Unbound like my allies' flash keys in solo queue?
Unbound Fresh. There you go.
That looks good. We'll give him that. Might give him a competitive edge, who knows? Top lane's going to play out exactly as you would expect, by the way. Fun matchups or not, top lane certainly is a known quantity through the world. Lilia has very good push, has almost permanent priority. And if Nectar even thinks about touching a minion, you even get near a minion, you're probably going to cop a full combo from Winterer. And the Q damage is kind of unfair to deal with in any kind of trade. So they'll out-sustain you, they'll out-damage you, they'll out-push you. You simply just dislike League of Legends if you're Malphite into that.
Yeah, you're kind of just waiting, right, for those moments of mid-game team fights where you can start to actually, you know, play the game, do your job, hit your ultimates, and, you know, put them to sleep, perhaps in a slightly different fashion. Legacy, the favorites here from you guys decided at home. 61% of you believe that this is their game to close out the week. But Mammoth might have other things to say as the hook goes out. Ignite was there to follow, and one more auto, and Starred would have dropped.
Mel's going to try and give a bit of a trade back, but really nothing doing there. Mid lane. And why not? If he was going to make that play, would have been flashing for it. They had the Ignite, so there was an angle, but Zayster being quite respectful will be able to just back himself away. Mel going to have to flash.
Good at one set. A flash forward from both of them. The hook doesn't even matter because the first spot's been acquired here from Mammoth's own Frost.
Shinky was reaching for 2 kills there, to be fair, as well. Was looking for Styled. Just misses that one. The minion wave was timed pretty nicely. So the Thresh not going to get the second one, but the Flay does all the work that was required. And, you know, easy little first kill down there in bottom lane. Mammoth, Frost of all people, getting it as well. You'll be very happy with that one.
Certainly would be. And it's exciting to see that this man, once again, can pop off. We've seen also Shinky play the Predator variation of Thresh before. Very keen to roam once he gets those boots. If they can win in their own lane, then it could just be that upset that allows the legacy composition that you said exists to maybe feel just a fraction deterred. Here comes Why Not, looking for his first interaction. The bop jumps in, Winterer looking for it, the stun to follow, the damage to take him out. And Legacy buy back with vengeance.
I mean, cleans him up. It was a nice combo there from Why Not, really. Winterer does most of the work, though, hitting the true damage or the maximum damage portion of his W, the tiny circle in the center. It's very hard to hit. But never mind. He's able to connect that one. He's just a good enough player. And poor Nectar. Right, there's not much that you can say positively towards his lane, but now he's also being ganked. It can go from bad to worse in a single moment. And it's starting to go that way. Gudo is on the top side of the map, but the fact that his Malphite died bodes poorly to the state of the game on top side, but bot side's winning.
Bot side is winning, and it may continue to do so until we hit some item breakpoints. And Styled has opted for the exhaust in this situation. No cleanse, no heal. Not going to be required as the stun there. Cosmic Binding isn't going to connect from Emelg. He was looking to try and bounce it off the wave. In jumps Why Not, flashing forward to try and start things off. Gets hooked into turret range, and Shinky. I love it when he plays fresh because he pops off like this.
And Goodo's here as well, Skibby.
Not going to make it double trouble as they look to try and deny. Oh, it's just a two-man flay. And Emelg goes running to the hills to try and get through that magical journey. Oh, very lucky that he actually made it. As Goodo was hunting to deny it.
Just no summoners there, you know, the Ignite available. And Curzio's going to have a crack at this. Let's see how he goes. He's level 6, has Ignite and Flash. It didn't go very well.
What, it made it on the TP as well?
I mean, he got a teleport, but they countered him by walking away. I guess that's just that simple, huh?
Yeah, one lantern and it's like, nice roam. That's really not going to mean much in the context of this game, but maybe he has Zeister outplayed himself. As he's going to get stunned, and Curzio is there. Tempered Fate is going to be used, but he's actually navigated it really well there, coming in through the ultimate fall. Might actually try and trade onto Emelg, but thankfully for him, and Curzio's got the damage and got the turnarounds. Now another TP, and Winter is looking to run it back time and time again. Hits the Sleepy Trouble Bubble because he's not Zoe, but he can still put you to sleep. And Shinky's roaming.
Why not having a blinder? He's really just died back to back under turrets.
Oh, no.
Winter starts the play and uses his ultimate and stops the turret aggro. And Winter also has about 400 more health than that of Why Not. So there's definitely a world where you say he tanks that to start that in the first place, but Shinky's there. You've got your Predator, Boots of Mobility, Thresh online and moving everywhere. So it's really just that easy. Shinky's just too clean when he gets this pick. Nice kill in mid lane though, Skibby.
Yeah.
We didn't really talk about that one. We just got the kill there, and Curzio getting a lot of stacks on his Evolve. And double Ignite was used for that one, so maybe not as easy in the current moment to follow that up with anything else. But the closer you get to Evolve, the happier you will be.
See what choice he goes for this game. You'd imagine, once again, hunting for the red form based on the items and the keystone choice. Also, talking about itemization, Winter has opted to build into the Riftmaker. So we talk about Leandri's being the go-to at least, but that could be a nice variation for some true damage to really ramp up what Lilia can contribute. Predator goes that again. Once again, it's Shinky looking for a little bit of action, but that's a beautiful supreme display of talent that locks him in place and allows Curzio to pick up another kill. As in the end, the talent was dismissed.
Still looking here is Why Not. Very aggressive.
Not giving up. He's still chasing on through and had to get inside the inner bubble, but falls on down, running away from this one, and Frost is getting very scary. You start to look at this one and think, is this really a case of Frost being able to carry this game on his own? Because he's 3-0-2 at only 8 minutes in.
Yeah, you've still got a pretty big Goodo to deal with as well. While the scoreline is only 1-0-3, he's having a pretty good time for himself. Nice little combo from Why Not. Yeah, I think maybe his ultimate was trying to also push them towards the bush he aimed for. Alternatively, he just aimed the wrong direction, but I would give him benefit of the doubt there. Is currently fighting the biggest raid boss in League of Legends with the red buff. Doesn't have Smite.
Oh no.
Has Smite right in time.
He gets it at the very last moment. Shinky is he's just everywhere. Look, bot lane's fed. I can be topside now. And whilst it would be very frustrating for Nectar to play, getting bailed out here to try and catch up on that CS department. Winter will not have a TP to get back to this lane, so now Why Not has to catch the XP. And Mammoth can continue to play very aggressively, as you can see demonstrated by Frost, who's 1v2ing. Now Why Not is actually going to die, and Rusty, that's a catastrophe.
Shinky's just too good, man. The flash had to be used by Shinky. There was no ultimate from the Malphite. I think he was going to be hovering the tri-bush anyway, but we've got a Melg mid.
Of course, it's not going to stop there. They're looking for it. I think the damage will be there. The Ignite went out very early on to cancel out what the Sylas can achieve, and Zeister's gone. Both supports trying to be the difference maker, but Shinky being the one in the driving seat. He finds Nkusu, then hits the death sentence to the right-hand side and says, we're always looking for doubles. I will not be satisfied with just a single kill.
Shinky wants to win this game more than anything right now, Skibby. That's the one big takeaway we have from it. 10 minutes into this one with a 9-4 scoreline. Shinky's been an 8, so definitely here to win. Why not with a flank angle, however? Bit scary when they throw a lantern to use the ultimate. Because you're also just dying.
Oh my. He's just dead.
Feeling like that might have been his goal, the way he played that one. But he did die, so...
200 years. It's been such a long time since we've had to really talk about it. But the range advantage is just insane. Well, I mean, this bot lane of Mammoth is well and truly smurfing.
They've planted themselves mid already, so... Winterer? Ooh, if that hit, I think he goes.
I mean, they were definitely on if that was the case, right? Why not in a lot of trouble once again? Hits the full combo, having to try and disengage away, but the Crescent Guard's going to block all that outside damage as Samira's looking for it. Stardust hunting for that kill as Winter is forced to disengage away from Moonwave with his own ultimate.
On the flank. Oh, God.
So many members are low that we're getting juked by the camera because they don't actually know what to look at because people are dropping light flies. There's Zeiss there, and there was Why Not for a moment. He's just gone, swatted away like a fly on the wall, and taking out the occasion very quickly as... well, I don't even get a chance to breathe here, Rusty. It's criminal how good Shinky is on this Fresh.
That is most definitely an AP Malphite with a Q-Max, given how much damage that just did. But Shinky is not even quietly achieving. He is boisterously achieving. He is definitely having a good game for himself, going out with a banger from the LCO. It just doesn't seem to miss, man. He's absolutely on a tear. And all of the dukes in the world from Amelg, I think he was waiting for his cooldown on his magical journey. The second he goes to use it, just gets hooked away. And that's all she wrote for the Bard. And we'll get to see how they chased Gudo. It was that journey. He just turns back the other way, uses it himself. Outplayed. They flash.
Nice flash.
But the kill was already there. He'll time their flash cooldown while the rest of his team's cleaning them up.
And back to life we go. The box goes down. The arena has been set. But Shinky is just so tanky, given all the early gold that he's managed to pick up here. 12 minutes in, it's a 3k lead for Mammoth as a whole. And, I mean, they're just having a lot of fun with this game. Whilst we're talking about fun as a composition for Legacy, Mammoth are, I mean, as a whole, playing probably the best they have all split.
I'm always one of those people, Skimmy, that if you say I have this cool, fun comp idea, I'll say let's do it. But the second we start losing, I regret it. So I'm just wondering how far down that path Legacy are. Because I think their comp is still okay. The Lilia is not handling top lane as well as it could be because it's not isolated. Thresh lives there, so it's just never that simple. Means that Lilia hasn't had a good time. Copped a flash there, though.
Yeah. Even though the Lantern was there, didn't want to have to wait that one out. Still hunting for it, very close to in that Cosmic Binding land. Here's Why Not once again on the hard, flashing forward, hits the stun, locks him in the face. But the turnaround with the Moonlight Vigil ensure that the Magical Journey has to be used to good success as Nectar just runs on through the TP. So much mobility. He's feeling himself this game as well, Rusty. It's not all about this Mammoth bot lane. Nectar's got 9 stacks of the Magi's. It well and truly is the AP Malphite.
That's it. That's what I was going to say. Count those stacks as the game progresses because he's looking at a 25 angle. Definitely starting to run away with this one. And still a lot of that is to do with bottom lane, right? Frost being so far ahead that he has the shield bow online. You would say that Why Not probably had lethal if that shield bow wasn't there. Like, it, again, was a good Kiana combo. But it's easier said than done. The Thresh is nearby. You know, the shield bow will keep him there. And teleports come in. And that's, you know, nice try, bro.
Good luck. Have fun. Next time, really. It's interesting to see that the game has really kind of descended into this chaos so early on. As Ngosu, he is in that red form now, so he's going to pack a little bit more of a punch in the battle of sustain between the two mid laners. I realise there's maybe Zeiss is just a fraction stronger than me.
Certainly showing off why Kane is a prolific mid lane champion.
Yeah.
Why not having a crack in top lane? Because why stop the action at any point in time? They'll of course lose the turret for it. I think you're one level away. I don't know how much money Nectar currently has in the kitty, but you'd have to say we're level 11, he's going to start killing people. He's level 10 right now, Skimmy.
Now he's gone. So, 9 stacks of Magi's gone in a heartbeat. And Legacy bite back, finding the kill to try and claw back at this deficit of 13 kills to 6 so far. For Funcom, that, as you say, has its merits, but has been challenged, to say the least. As why not? I'm pretty sure he's never had this flash on cooldown much longer than 10 seconds. He's been burning it, hard forcing as if he's a tank.
You know, the other thing that hasn't been left to be available is Ignite from both Curzio and from Emelg. They ganked mid twice, and the second their Ignites are available, they both use them. So they're not messing around. They're definitely looking to use them off cooldown as much as possible, keep the action going, keep the game being really rowdy. And again, throw chaos at a team that has a standard composition and invite them to fight on your terms, right? Which is anything goes.
And there've been plenty of times this season where Legacy have been very keen to fight in situations that, you know, multiple others probably would have fought otherwise about. But they see the angles, they see the chances to try and catch the opposition off guard.
So I've just had a quick check, Skimmy. Just had a quick Google just in case I missed something. Kiana does have an AP ratio on her W. I believe it's just the W of a 0.4 ratio. So the Dark Seal, that's what I was looking at. It exists. It doesn't need to. But hey, if you snowball the game, that's a Magi, there's 25 stacks, why not?
Yeah, literally, why not? Might be trying to, you know, control the elements and unleash the power. But we've seen this happen before where they've grouped up and the punishment has been pretty bad. Mammoth have just summoned a Herald and just wiped out the entirety of the top side of the map.
Mammoth definitely playing to win. Mammoth 100% looking to put everything in. The bottom lane is saying this will be a victory. And Curzio will get the bot outer. They're also getting the Drake. So it's not that Legacy are just bowing down by any means. But a top lane inner turret at 17 minutes is a lot of extra bonus gold into the pockets of Frost. And I think if we did bring up the gold difference right now, or soon, you'll see a sizable gap, and one that I don't think Styled could ever recover from already 17 minutes in.
Very keen, though, to see what Styled can do, because it's a champion that's exciting, right? You hit the Inferno trigger, you get the S tier rating, and you've seen it all time and time again. Hence why it kind of fell out the meta, right? Repeated nerfs to try and control that a fraction. There's a world, but that could still be a possibility. Why not now? 1v2. In stealth. I wish he was in that just a fraction longer because he can't do enough to try and take out this incredibly fed 6-0 Aphelios.
I mean, why not big time earning himself a participation award for this game? Nectar is going to use the Unstoppable Force to get himself out. One thing we didn't mention, the Magi's, he lost all his stacks for that dive in top lane, so fair play to Legacy and to the Kiana for that dive, but at this point, the Kiana is trying to constantly conquer Everest, and he's struggling with molehills.
Feels a little bit like the definition of insanity of trying the same thing over and over again, but you know, expecting a different result. He certainly has been hard forcing. But it's now a 6,000 gold lead for Mammoth, fast approaching the 20-minute mark.
Yeah, and it really should just continue to stretch from this point. There was definitely a moment in the draft where we were thinking, okay, handshake moment. Like, is it going to be a handshake, or are they just going to sit there and play serious while Legacy trolls? Like, is this the state of the draft? And it did seem like Mammoth have said to them, you know, play what you want. We are definitely just going to do a Philios Thresh with our most played jungle champion here as well. We're just going to have fun by beating you. Legacy have had the most unfortunate handshake in the history of trade deals. They've left the deal with a very serious composition that smacks them around. In saying that, Winter is a monster, and the time that they've spent isolated in top lane has been building up a sizable lead. And I think it is commendable enough to continue to win the side lane, but I don't see many worlds where it wins a team fight unless you hit like the miracle blooming blows.
Well, they have had miracle moments happen before. We loosely mentioned it earlier in the night where they had the wombo combo down 7,000 against Pentanet. They do have themselves another wombo combo here, and they're starting to get into that sort of same territory of gold deficits. So get to see how Legacy can play this one out. As you can see, they surely are having a bit of fun with it, but no doubt I'm looking to try and still cause some headaches here for Mammoth, who a lot of bounties, and I'm sure if they can try and take up Frost, might be something that Style can recover from.
Starting to really feel like we're just using the same thing over and over, though, aren't we? No Bard ult, or easy to dodge Bard ult, because it's the only thing you have to think about. And if that's the only engage tool they have, is the only thing you have to think about, then really it's just easy to sidestep it constantly off cooldown. These two fighting in their sick 1v1s, and Curzio has built up a CS lead, Skimmy, but he hasn't won the 1v1s. The game definitely just continuing as it were, which usually means that why not in the next minute we'll find a chance to die.
Yeah, I mean, Flash is available, right? Double Ignite is there, so you know that something will happen, whatever that may be, whatever form and shape it comes as, and wondering now. But the next fight will break out, be it we have Dragon available in 45 seconds. If we will just have ourselves one of those crazy burger flips for the Baron.
My dude rushed a full Morello's top lane as well, by the way.
Yeah.
Straight into a Sunfire. What are you building, brother?
I guess mythic items overrated. Let's have a little bit of fun. Look, hey, if I'm forced to be the tank in my last game of the split, you guys want to be boring.
Yeah, third item, tank item is the only way to do it.
Why not?
Begrudging tank job. Teleports in, okay. The Drake fight is the fight. If Legacy can win this fight, they're still in the game.
Predator has been popped. Shinky moving at speed of light right now. Looking for that pick target. Vision, the big focus right now. Legacy visibly petrified by the fact that a Mammoth wombo combo could take place. Tempered Fate goes out once again, hits nothing. Incursio in the flank, Nectar protecting. It's a bit of a dance here for that Dragon.
The Nectar, the protector, putting in some work on the side. Can't really stop the Kayn from getting into the fight, but just watch for the Malphite ultimate versus the Kiana ultimate, the two big engage tools.
Oh, why not stolen it? And now the fight will break out. One found, and it is for the Aphelios as Frost here, finding himself another kill. Perfect game from him. Style taken down once more. A flash forward from Goodo. As they once again head across another kill to this man. Untouched and unleashed.
I mean, he's legendary now on this Aphelios. 700 gold bounty on him as well, as you like. Is putting in some pretty insane work in this game. We're going to try a magical journey, but that was a tiny journey. And you're against the Moby, so you've got to be careful. Shinky almost flayed him. I tell you what, that fight, definitely not the way that Legacy wanted it to go, but it starts with the two exact tools that you would expect it to, right? You've got Nectar ulting in, and then you've got Why Not throwing his ult in. He does steal the Drake, but the cost is most of his team's life. So not one of those trades that you'd happily take. Is Baron?
Yeah,
it's
quietly. It's gone. So you can steal a Dragon, but we've stolen your chances of coming back into this one. Okay, so
what are you doing, Curzio?
Very deep behind enemy lines right now. Looking to try and lifesteal as much as he can. On towards Zeister. Where's he going to pop out? Forced to flash away! And whilst the Silas chains won't connect, there's a big man with an unstoppable force keen to hunt you down.
Yeah, they even used the Bard ultimate on him for no particular reason, just to secure his death. And Curzio has been found at the enemy wolf camp. Well, the rest of his team's on the other side of the map. Now, I don't know what he was doing there, but he did get the wolves. So we chalked that up as a big win.
He's got a CS lead, so they scale. Copium, perhaps.
Copium, yeah. I don't know.
It certainly was a weird matchup, right? I mean, you're looking at the double assassin, you're thinking, okay, and this fits the bill, this fits what these boys are about, but they've maybe suffered from the success of being a little bit too out of the box.
That ultimate's going high and wide, unfortunately, for a Melg as well. He keeps trying, though. You got to commend the effort, but the hooks don't miss.
I mean, you miss everyone that you don't take, and, well, Shinky does take those. Certainly does, as Frost is well and truly online to try and hit double digits and have probably the best KDA of the split for him personally. Hit a PB, why not?
Right, we've got why not split pushing with the Baron buff pushing mid. You need a 5-man sleep angle from Winter or it's doomed.
Akiana split push is one to be feared.
There you got the turret.
Styled is down again. Mid inhibitor is exposed. Top lane, that's where it's at. You want Winter to come on down and hit the massive flash on forwards. Doesn't have a stopwatch. He is built like a bruiser. Riftmaker frozen heart. And his heart might be frozen a second because Mammoth, Gudo has left the game. They're sieging to end and he's had enough.
I'm sick of it. I'm a head out. He's just disconnected from the game. I'm sure we'll get that one resolved soon and get back into this one because it did look like Mammoth are literally trying to win right now. But their Xin Zhao has just started spontaneously running away, as you can see. For good reason, he has disconnected. We'll get us back in soon.
What a good game for Mammoth if this was to be their first 2-0 ever of 2021. Tripling their win rate of split 1-2-2. The narrative that we're sort of really hammering home, right, of growth, but it has been growth. And I mean, just whilst we're in this pools, having been involved in the scene for a much longer period than myself, Rusty, has there ever been a season, a split that's been really as competitively close as this one, do you think?
Not for... There's been splits where there's been like 2 good teams. There's been splits where there's been 3. There's been some where there's like 4, which is still, in my mind, a very competitive season, right? The top 4 teams kind of going back and forth. I don't think, off the top of my head, there's been a season other than in the LCO where I would say like 6 teams, maybe 7, were all competing for a playoff spot very actively, bar 2019 split 2, if I was to rack my brain. Where I think the league was actually insanely competitive in that season. But still there was bottom teams, right, that weren't really having their shot. So that's a good question. Really pushing me to my limits, though.
Yeah,
memory.
I mean, I'm just putting you on the spot, right? No prep, no chance to, you know, do a bit of research and to sort of think about it. But I mean, it's exciting, right? To sort of see a brand new tournament come about. Bit of a cloud of sadness came across thinking, you know, a lot of the best players had moved on and look to, you know, play their trade in the major regions, but showing that still there's a lot of talent left here that is looking to potentially achieve the same sort of end result and punching their tickets to be recognized. And I mean, it's cool to see that even in this, you know, final game, whilst it might not be one with the most implications on standings, it seems to be a case of, you know, the players just having a bit of fun to close out things. As we got a few replays, just to sort of catch us up to date with why we find ourselves in a pool state of Mammoth trying to end the game.
Yeah, a lot of action pretty consistently as well through a lot of this. And again, why not mechanically is obviously quite good on this character. He knows what he's about. He knows what he's doing. He knows most of the limits of his champion, but started to hit this point as the game progressed where he was looking for engage angles, but the enemy team was actually just like turbo fed. So Kiata can really only go one direction. If they come towards you, yeah, sure, but like you're still kind of an all-in champion. And, you know, a couple of good moments here and there for him, but try as he might, the enemy team just a little bit too powerful and doesn't have the same backup that someone like Gudo would have running around. That really is, you know, the reason I'm talking about why not so much is that is a lot of this game. He is a major proponent of the early aggression and movements, and the fact that he is behind is a sign of how the game has gone, barring a couple of nice little kills in mid lane, but even then, Incursio had been fairly quiet with the early kills that he got. And we're actually all just a part of Shinky's montage. This whole last game is actually just a montage reel that Shinky's making for his socials, so look out for that one, because he's kind of just on fire. I see that hook missed. Not going to see that in the montage.
No. that was a bit of a glitch in the matrix there. Didn't want us to see that, but we have indeed. And we're back to live. So, montage aside, replays put on the back burner for a moment. Back to the action where Mammoth were posturing to end this game only 26 minutes in.
Nectar basing has teleports, so probably teleports to, the minion that's taking aggro. Means that Mammoth is serious about this.
Gonna go for the sleeve. It's Winter looking for that one. The unstoppable force locks in place too. The smallest supreme display of that talent you will ever find around a defeated Nexus turret. And it might be the same case here for Styles!
Oh, Styles!
Who hits the Inferno trigger and gets a triple kill. He's been searching for that all game long. And better late than never. But Zeister trying to end this game on his own, and whilst he's got the change, he's looking to try and wrap them around Legacy here and say, locked in place, Grace Green Gaming, GG Mammoth, with their first 2-0 week of the year.
And Shinky, all business towards the end there as well, wants to hit that one. Legacy do drop to Mammoth. Of course, the results of this game meaning nothing for the standings. Mammoth will put themselves at 3-18. It's still an improvement on their last split and still a takeaway from them. And again, we can only speak positively to the improvements we saw from the roster, though Legacy in this game were definitely having fun with it.
Yeah, maybe not playing to the same level that we'd seen them at moments during the season, but certainly having fun with it, as you say, playing their comfort champions and showing us a little bit of something different to close out a no-stakes game. Mac, you look at that one. Congratulations, really, to Mammoth, as, you know, they've had their moments, but now a perfect 2-0 week.
Yeah, the perfect 2-0 week. I really wish that Kane mid popped off that little bit more. And I thought Why Not was going to go for the Kha'Zix angle, but he went for the Kiana, and now I'm disappointed because look what happened. Look what happened, Why Not. You've thrown away the victory. You could have had at least like 1-on-1 for himself here, but unfortunately now he's 0-2. So a bit of a rough split for him in particular. Legacy as well, you know, going to be in the same position. And Mammoth's wooden spoon painted gold. So at least they've got that going for them with a perfect end to the split. Let's see if maybe next year they can continue it on. But for now, you know, they will be going into the off-season on the back of the W. So that at least feels good. And Frost just playing to a T. I feel like this is probably one of the best games we've seen from him all split because he was just able to stand out of danger's way and shoot things. And shoot things to death and get lots of kills on the board and get a W. So I guess that's, you know, an ADC's dream. I don't know, do we have any ADCs on the desk here, Rusty? You an ADC in an alternate reality?
No, I played mid competitively and then transitioned to support when my hands became old enough to not care about mechanics. So no, not ADC dream in my mind, but I will say that the ability to team fight and not be touched, like ever, right? You're just untouchably strong either because you're fed or your team is a very comforting feeling to have in any game, competitive or not.
Well, at least Styles got himself a sick triple, almost the quad. Do you think if he got the quad, then we'd be seeing a different end to the game here? Or, you know, if Zyster was alive, I think he had it finished anyway, right?
Geez. I mean, it depends on Styles' health, because they could have held that, I think. Yeah. I mean, I was quietly hoping for a penta, if we're going to be honest. Just Samira things. You got to lose the game after getting a penta, or you're really not playing Samira.
It's just, I mean, sort of the damage breakdown here is kind of reflective of how that laning phase went, right? You know, the lowest damage in the game, punished exceptionally well, and on the flip side, sort of outranged there by the Aphelios. So, I think whatever happens with these rosters, you know, they've certainly had their moments to individually impress, and I'm sure they're going to be a hot commodity in the off-season.
Lots of damage spread across for both teams, and you could see it was just a whole lot of fun, is the way I'm going to explain it. Just everywhere from the start to the end, just a whole lot of aggression and a big W for Mammoth. Now, someone that gets Ws every day is Nat, so let's bring Nat back in and ask, how does it feel to be such a champion, Nat?
I've never really thought about it. I don't know if I've felt like a champion too often, but I really appreciate that, Mac. I guess I feel pretty good now.
There you go. Well, maybe it's born a champion. Now, you have a champion down on the sidelines. Who is it?
I do. I am going to be joined by Frost, which is so exciting. Congratulations on another week, and I guess another win, and I guess a 2-0 week for you. How does that feel?
Yeah, it feels really nice to end the season off with another dub, a 2-0 week.
Yeah, what were your thoughts going through that game? Because it was a very, very action-packed game.
Yeah, it was a bit of a fiesta. I felt like I was in the backseat of the game. I felt like my team babysat me quite a lot. And I just had kills and kills spoon-fed to me. My support popped off, my mid jungle and top also did really well. So really happy.
just a combination of the whole team coming together today. Now the draft, let's talk about it. There were a lot of interesting picks on the side of Legacy. So how did you guys navigate your way through that one?
Yeah, we were a bit confused at first, but when we see these picks locked in, they're sort of their players' corresponding favorite champions. So we sort of knew where every champ was going. Like Kiana was 100% going jungle, and yeah, so we sort of had it under control.
Yeah, what were some thoughts running through that game, I guess, communication-wise, so you guys didn't overextend or anything like that and could secure that win?
Yeah, we made sure to communicate effectively and not like overextend, so we can actually end the game clean, and which we did, so we're pretty happy.
Yeah, well, congratulations again on a pretty great win and a very entertaining game. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, thank you.
I think that was like TSM Academy, maybe like blowing up his phone saying, "Well done, mate, great performance. You're the next player coming overseas."
Here's your new contract.
Yeah.
That or, of course, Mammoth just saying, please, we need to re-sign you quickly. Don't go anywhere. We need you for the next split. Either way, I think it might be a surprise for some, but I don't think it's a surprise for others. Player that delivered thanks to DoorDash for the final game of the regular season is going to your boy Shinky. Hitting hooks left, right, and center, 84% kill participation, a couple of flays to make your day, and 46 wards placed. Oh, Rusty, is that a good number?
That's a pretty good number, Matt, because it's more than a goose egg, which is my biggest fear. If I see it ever, a competitive game where someone has 0 wards, I might quit on the spot. Because that would just terrify me into submission. Anyway, here you've got 46, so let's not dwell on potential futures. I think he played nuts. I think what Frost said in the interview sums it up nicely, to be honest. Like, he got to just sit in the back seat of the cushiest car of all time and let Shinky do his work and get all the kills for it. It's an easy day to be Frost because you've got this man putting in work.
Yeah, that's the one. And another support getting the DoorDash player that delivered. So that was 2 today, and I'm sure Shinky's going to be very happy with this $100 DoorDash voucher, as I would be if DoorDash wanted to send me one too, because I'd love that. Anyway, time for my favorite part of the day, the play of the day. Now, there was a whole lot of action that went down today. Can you recall any of the sick plays, Rusty?
Yes, I think it has, like, if it's not this, I'm shocked. It has to be Pieces Engage at the Rift Herald 10 minutes inverse order.
Okay, so Aladoric's
The Solar Flare.
ultimate.
It was also like a
Solar
4-man
Flare?
Camille E, just quietly. Like, it was just nuts everywhere.
Okay, and Nat, do you think it's anything different?
I think it's that, or at least definitely within the Peace game. I do have some notes. We had Styled get a triple, Gungrab get a double, and we had Chaz get a triple as well. So everyone had a really good play at some point in some game today, but I don't think any of those three will be play of the day.
Well, you're all right. Congratulations to your boy Aladoric for the sick bloody engage here, opening the Baron Pit. And Groovy Jooby's not here, Nat, so please take these notes.
Oh, we're not going to try and ask Rusty if he would like to...
I don't have enough voice left to do anything. That's not...
I'll
Please.
definitely try my best. I'll put it that way. I don't know if I can ever live up to the hype of Jubes.
That's all we could ask for, though.
Just yell. You just got to yell, Nat.
That's true, actually. I do just have to yell, don't I? That's one page. All right, so here we have it. It's around the Rift Pit, and we just see an amazing engagement from Aladoric. He gets it on all of the team. I don't know what the rest of this is, because honestly, how could you just not think about anything else after seeing that amazing engagement from Aladoric? It's him. It's always been him. It will always be him. That is what Peace has been telling themselves for the last week now. That's it.
Preach.
Woo!
Church
Woo!
of Aladoric.
And Appy going huge at the end as well, just to mop up another kill. There you have it. So play of the day was Aladoric with Engage and then a couple of kills afterwards. So congrats to Peace for picking up the play of the day. And now that brings us to the final standings. Let's have a look at this and have our thoughts on it, because at the start of the I still remember the start of the season when we were trying to figure out what the standings would look like. You know, just putting your hand in, throwing up your predictions, and I dare say it did not look like this. The three-way tie for second but not really, because there's head-to-heads that enable it to be Pentanet in first, Order in second, Direwolves in third, Chiefs in fourth, and Peace down there in fifth. 6th, 7th, and 8th, of course, Gravitas, Legacy, and Mammoth. Thank you very much for coming, but we'll see you next split because you won't be there for the playoffs, but they certainly impressed and entertained throughout the season, so hold your heads high. You did a damn good job for the region and for your organizations. Now, Rusty, words, you want to say any?
I mean, I can.
Yeah, you should.
For me, Nat could definitely talk after me. I'll make it short. The only thing that I got wrong on my split predictions was Order and Peace swapped, I think.
Okay.
Wow.
It was closer than I thought. And again, I didn't actually think I'd be even remotely close to correct, given how the split went.
Very true.
I mean, you talk about the start of the split, and one thing that I just really wanted to point out there is this is the very first time that Chiefs have not been in the top 3. Every week of this split, they have been in some variation of the top 3, and this is the first time that we see them not in that.
And Mac, let's break that one a little bit more open to discussion, because at the top of the show, I asked Kuda and I said, you know, whoever's come first 9 times in a row now in Oceanic history, they've come first in the regular season, they've won the playoffs. Does that mean it's the perfect year for Pentanet, back-to-back champions? But also, to go down even further, let's just dig that hole, let's just dig it.
Yep.
Majority of the time, whoever ends up top 2 ends up top 2 in the playoffs. Now, Direwolves has kind of bucked the trend a little bit since 2016. If they ever came second, they never made it. So maybe, because they're third, good luck's on their side. And for the rest of the teams, maybe good luck Order. Congratulations, you're not going to get knocked out first round.
Yeah, I think if it wasn't already an interesting split, then these playoffs are going to be an absolute banger, and best of 5s all through the playoffs as well, so it's going to be so much fun. Speaking of playoffs, let's have a quick look at the bracket, where all the teams are going to be sitting, and where we start, where we finish, etc., etc. So, next Tuesday, looking at round 1 here, we have the upper bracket, which is Order and Direwolves to kick things off, and then Chiefs and Peace. One of those teams going home before the playoffs really begin. Best of 5s for both of those. Then we move over to Wednesday, which is going to be Pentanet taking on the winner of that round 1 upper bracket game. Down in the lower bracket, of course, it is going to be the loser of the round 1 upper bracket versus the winner of the round 1 lower bracket. So, etc., etc. We get there, we go forward. Of course, then the week after, it's Tuesday and Wednesday. We have the 2 lower bracket games. And then Saturday, the 31st, it looks like we have the finals. So, that's going to be a fun time, and I cannot wait to see how that one goes. But again, best of 5s for all these matches. So Order versus Direwolves, Chiefs versus Peace as well. Oh, it's the other way around. So we're actually going to be sending someone home at 6 p.m.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're not even going to be able to pack their bags, Rusty.
Straight out of the gates, short and sweet playoff career for one of these 2 teams, and honestly, one of the most insane knockout best of 5s that we could get. If Peace is going to keep their current form, and Chiefs were currently a first place contender, like, that's actually really sad but exciting.
Yeah, pretty crazy how everything has panned out, but we do get to see some rematches between some of the best games we've seen all season in best of 5 format. None of these best of 1s or best of 3s, but throughout 3 bloody round robins. You know, there's no time to change it. And the splits change, not the splits rather, the patches change between the times you play the teams as well. So, whole lot of crazy stuff. Anyway, Skimmy.
Yep.
Did you want to have your 2 cents on the playoffs bracket there?
Oh, bro, I am so excited for Chiefs taking on Peace, because that is just going to be 2 teams, 2 boulders, bashing heads, getting it done. A battle of erosion, you know? Let's go back to school, a little bit of science, right? And, you're going to rub each other down, get a little bit rowdy about it, and then they're going to say, look, we don't want to play macros. You know, macro's boring. It's all about micro. I want to come at you. I want to, you know, flex on you. I want to pop my collar. I want to
just rub each other down.
do stuff.
There's so many things in that sentence that are just very inappropriate for this broadcast.
Well, you know, if you take your head out of the gutter for a second, guys, I'm actually a professional here. And
sorry,
you know,
you're so right.
Is
Brains
this because
eroding,
your caffeine's only hitting you now post-game?
Well, I've had a few coffees today, and, you know, whilst some of us stumble our words, you know, me included, obviously, I'm keen. I'm pumped up. I got to do another couple of games. I mean, let's just run it back. Where the tiebreakers at? The after show. Let's go.
Yeah, the post game. Anyway, that brings us to the end of the regular season, and I need to thank you all so much for joining us on the journey. However, playoffs are starting next week, so make sure you're there. 6 p.m. on Tuesday, 5:30 p.m. for the pre-show. I love you dearly. Come here, come on, bring it in. We've had a good time. I'll see you on Tuesday. All right, bye guys.
As Clear once again hits the Dominus and is looking for the 1v2 as that does a whole bunch of AoE damage. They're going to try and regroup up with the rest of the team by the end of the move up 1Q, and it's a whole bunch of lifesteal combo there with the Gore Drinker.
Looking at how they close this game out, it should be easy for them, but the fight's happening.
Once again, Clear the focus, Call of the Forge God is going to knock him up, pop the Sterix, now look at try and follow things up as Swayth just gets deleted, and then they find a second kill in Neon. Lived is gone, it's a triple across the board, and it's that big man and only once again. This can't be a 50-50, they have to do the dance, they have to turn things around already. Saffron and Rizzo are at 50%, it's not ideal. The stolen Ornn ultimate will not connect, and now Biofeather can pretty much choose whoever he wants to kiss with the nice flash mechanics to try and kick somebody into his team. He just falls on down, unprotected and no follow-up. 2 kills found by PGG so far. True shot barrage connects to find Predator's double kill. And we might be finding ourselves the first ace of the game as Predator runs down Floppy, who puts up the shield, but can't prevent death. Just knock it on your front door.
It looks like they could be giving this. I don't think you fight for it. You could maybe try and steal. Eldoric's here now, though.
Oh, Valador's come in with a massive solar flare. That may just be game-changing. That surely is something that you would be proud to deliver. With Tally on the flank as well, whilst Kevy has the Heralds. And Wave has crashed on in. They're just going to dive and look to try and juggle this one again. The CC is there. The tower juggling, looking to go on through. Is Alidoric manages to get away. Appy was tanking. The Tally is 2. Nobody's died, and they picked up another kill. Going to go for the sleeve. It's Winter looking for that one. The Unstoppable Force locks in place too. The smallest supreme display of that talent you will ever find around a defeated Nexus turret. And it might be the same case here for Styles.
Styles.
Who hits the Inferno trigger and gets a triple kill. He's been